the Red Raider football team has been on the road all season, waiting for $4.1 million of Phase 1 renovations to be complete here at Rogers Stadium. Joined by ESPN College Game Day analyst David Pollack. David, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, dog.
Now, over the years, Penn State fans have certainly enjoyed their pork and sauerkraut with the Nittany Lions. This, the 25th New Year's Day bowl game for Penn State. So Penn State 3-0 so far in the top 10 of the AP poll. What do they need to do to stay perfect tonight? Well, to find out, we have reporter Tom Shively live in Champaign, Illinois, with a look ahead at tonight's game. Tom? Tomorrow morning, everyone will be watching as Lee Corso makes his pick, but today in the Center County studios, we want to know who David Pollack has.
Too bad you're not getting my pick today.
So obviously a huge opportunity for the Little Lions this weekend on the road. And Hurricane Florence is affecting some Penn State sports. Nittany Lion men's soccer had its game against High Point canceled on Tuesday. High Point University is near Greensboro, North Carolina. The hype continues to swirl around the former five-star prospect, who graced the cover of this week's Sports Illustrated. I'm Matt Freiler with sports, joined by ESPN College Game Day analyst David Pollack. David, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, dog.
So you've been all over the country
Yes,
in
sir.
all kinds of different awesome college football environments. We want to know from an outside perspective, what makes Penn State special?
Well, first of all, we've been to a ton of them, across the country. And I think the smaller schools are the most unique, probably like the North Dakota States, the JMUs. Those are really, really cool. But when you come to the bigger schools, to me, it's not even as much about the game day, but the whiteout is just stupid. It's impossible to hear. It's impossible to communicate. So this is one of the coolest places that we go to.
Awesome. So coming into this matchup, top two scoring offenses in the country. Penn State not really skipping a beat since Joe Moorhead left. Dwayne Haskins for Ohio State looking like an early Heisman candidate. Do you think this one's going to be a shootout, or do you think the defenses might be able to hold their own more than people expect?
No, I think you're going to get plenty of scoring. And, I understand what you're saying about the scoring offense with Penn State, but the passing game is not what it was. So that's kind of regressed a little bit. I think McSorley's legs are more involved. Miles Sanders, just next freak show up. I mean, he's doing as good of a job as Saquon Barkley did. Maybe not with the pub that Barkley got. KJ Hamler, hello, freak show. Defensive for Penn State, defensively, not good. So I think when you look at Ohio State's defense, they've been good the last couple of years, but Penn State still had success. And so I think Penn State was running. I think McSorley's legs will be the key to this game. He'll be running the football a good bit. If it needs to be 20 carries, it will be, but we're going to have a shootout.
So speaking of McSorley, you being a former Ben-Eric award-winning defensive end, you know how important it is more than anyone to get pressure on the quarterback, especially when you have a versatile guy like Trace.
Yep.
So how does Nick Bosa being out impact this Buckeye defense?
Well, it takes away the best player in college football. I think Nick Bosa is overall the best player, and he can put pressure on you. Now, McSorley is one of the best quarterbacks in the country at avoiding pressure and still making plays. But they're freaky regardless, Ohio State.
So tomorrow morning, everyone will be watching as Lee Corso makes his pick. But today in the Center County studios, we want to know who David Pollack has.
Too bad you're not getting my pick today. But I don't know what Corso's doing either. But, listen, I think I keep going back and forth. Penn State has found a way. Last year, Ohio State had a great defensive line, and Penn State still moved the football. I think they're going to move the football regardless. At home, obviously, I think you give it a couple points. So I keep going back and forth on who I'm going to pick. So you'll have to tune in tomorrow. Sorry, bro.
Well, David, we appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Now, for more on the game, let's go live to reporter Ellie French at Beaver Stadium.
We are Penn State. We are Penn State.
The "We Are" chants broke out when Wally Triplett visited Penn State 3 years ago. Players and coaches knew how special this guest was. Triplett was the first African-American football player to start for Penn State back in 1945. He also became the first black player to be drafted and play in the NFL. Penn State football historian Lou Prado told us about Triplett's legacy as a Nittany Lion.
Wally Triplett is one of the historic figures in Penn State football history and every university history.
One popular legend claims Triplett was one of the inspirations for the famous "We Are" chant that we all know today. Lou Prado says that's not true, but he says it is true that teammates stood up for Triplett and another player in the segregated South, and both played in the 1948 Cotton Bowl.
Down there, and they couldn't stay in Dallas. They had to stay at an Army base, a Navy base, actually, several miles away. And there's a lot of stories about what happened. But eventually, they played the game. and it wound into a 13-13 tie, and that Wally and Denny integrated the Cotton Bowl. So.
Triplett was born in Lamont, Pennsylvania, and died Thursday in Detroit at age 92. A statement from Coach James Franklin said, "This is a tremendous loss for not only our football program, but the Penn State community as a whole. He had a profound impact on me and the team when he visited in 2015. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Wally's family." In University Park, I'm Matt Freiler for the Center County Report.